My name's Mike, and I am a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt with around 15 years or so experience. Got my black belt a couple of years ago, and it's the first day of the summer holidays here in Belfast. I have decided, or we have decided, this is Eve, this is Zach, we have decided to try and commit to a daily jiu-jitsu class or some sort of private training. We also thought that it would be quite a good idea to try and record some of it. Zach has been training pretty consistently now for around 2 to 3 years. He started a little bit earlier, but then took some time away. Same with Eve, started maybe 4 years ago properly, and then took a year or so out. So she's just really getting back into it this year, last sort of 6 months. Hopefully they're both enjoying it, I think. Yeah, so we're going to try and study jiu-jitsu over the summer, and we're going to probably focus more on guard, I think, at the moment. This video is really, hopefully, going to be helpful to any parent that has kids that do jiu-jitsu. Sort of wondering how they can practice with their kids, basically. And I've been teaching these two, whether they realize it or not now, since they were babies, tiny bit, still in nappies, and they were learning how to pass guards, how to keep the feet on the hips, that sort of stuff. So yeah, hopefully there's some value in what we're doing here today. And yeah, we'll get started. I think we're going to start with maybe De La Riva. De La Riva is a type of open guard, and one that I think is particularly good for the smaller person to try and get towards the back on their opponent. So when they're playing guard, they're going to have their grips and they're going to try and work to try and take their opponent's back. And as they progress, they're going to be able to start doing this in like many different ways. Sort of baby bolo or berimbolo would be really good, strong options. And there's loads of high-level guys that have played berimbolo for years. And then you've got like a generation coming through now of grey and black belts. Ace Mendez, I think, would probably be the one that stands out, who's one of the Mendez brothers' sons. And he's got this understanding of berimbolo, which is just far superior to most black belts. It's just incredible to watch. So we're going to do some basic De La Riva with these guys here now. I don't think they've properly done De La Riva ever. So I'm going to try and introduce it to them, and hopefully they can start playing it, okay? Right, one of you stand up. One of you lie down. Okay, right, you're the guard player, you're the top person, okay? So, let's make sure that we stay in shot. Now, for De La Riva, you're going to need 1 foot in front of the other. So Eve, pick a foot. Take 1 foot back. Okay, so now you've got to play. You've got to play De La Riva on this lead leg here now, okay? So you always play De La Riva on a lead leg. Switch your legs around, it's going to be easier to show it on the camera. Okay, so you always play De La Riva on a lead leg. And the other thing that Zach's got to think about here is that his knees are a little bit too far away. So this would be really good sort of fundamental understanding of guard. If the knees come too far past the hip, so if we draw a line up from Zach's hip up towards the ceiling like this, ideally Zach wants his knees to stay on that line or within that line. If he has grips, so that could be like a cross collar grip. Go a little bit forward, boom. So this is I'll talk about the grips in a second. If he has this cross collar grip here and he pushes into Eve, feet to the hips, he can let his knee pass that line a little bit more now. Okay, he can start to let these knees venture this way a little bit past the hip line because he has the ability to pull Eve in. But if Eve breaks the grip, so break the grip, boom, and he keeps the feet out like this, what are you going to do?
I grab here
Yep.
and try and push it to the side.
Perfect, good. And then she can close that space, come down into side control. Up you get. So a good rule to have if you're training with your kids, good rule to have is the second that that you break the, so if you're the top person, they're the guard player, the second they break the grip, you want to encourage them to bring their legs back in and shut off this space, okay? You'll hear a lot of coaches talk about knee and elbow connection. So that's the knee and the elbow connecting here. If Eve was to try and drop down into that side control position there, Zach's got his frames in, okay? His frames are his hand, forearm, and elbow, knee, shin, and foot. If he's able to keep those together like that, it's going to shut down Eve's ability to get into that gap there, okay? So the rule to have them. If you have grips, if he has his dominant grip, so that could be cross collar, double sleeve, or something like that, he's able to push his legs out and he can pass the hip line, okay? If she breaks a grip and he he loses control of the upper body or whatever grips he has, he's got to be thinking about pulling these knees back in. Okay, right, so let's go De La Riva. Back onto the De La Riva, cross collar. He's going to put his big toe, this big toe here on the far hip. And then this leg is going to swing around and it's going to hook around the leg, okay? And then he's going to have this grip. Now he can have a second grip. His second grip is either going to be the ankle or the sleeve. There's other variations, you can do other things as well, but just for the purpose of simplicity, I'm going to give Zach the goal of having an ankle grip and a sleeve grip. If he rips this grip back, then he's going to take an ankle grip. Okay, there. So, just to remind, we're going to talk about the De La Riva hook in a second, but just to remind you, points of contact so far. Cross collar grip here. That cross collar grip wants to sit at the collarbone as a frame, so that if Eve leans in, Zach can frame her away. He can just push, straighten that arm. Push, push, push. Good. And he's going to have, up you get. Spin this way a touch. Come around. And he's going to have this big toe connected to that hip bone. Okay? Now, the De La Riva hook is going to go around and it's going to hook up. And he's going to hook around the inside of her leg. And then he's going to keep this knee pinched. So at the moment, this is a problem you're going to face. At the moment, Eve's leg is straight. Okay? Put that foot there. De La Riva's really, you can't play it on a straight leg. You need a bent leg. You need a 90-degree leg. So bend this knee down, boom, boom, take this leg back. Good. There, like that. Then hook. Good. Now, that's a stronger hook now, curled up in towards Eve's. It's put him back up in towards Eve's hip here like this, okay? Take this grip. There. Right. And then from here, Zach is going to have two tilts. He can either pull her this way, so he's going to pull on the collar and lean onto his right hip. Just come this way. Good. Which pulls her over. She'll put her hands to the mat and post. So that's one tilt. Up you get. Or the second tilt, do exactly the same thing. Go back into that position. So here, Eve, bend your leg. Good. Cross collar grip. Ankle grip. Or sleeve, go ankle. And then the second tilt is where he's going to start to turn onto his left hip, so that's going that way, and he's going to pull her. Okay, so go that way. Brilliant, good. Switch around. Eve, you're going to play guard. One leg forward, go that foot. Good, bend your knees a bit. Better. This foot goes to the hip bone here. Go cross collar grip. You're a little bit too far out at the moment, Zach. Better, good. Okay, ankle grip. And then, no, you've got to go under the hip. So you've always got to go under the De La Riva hook. Nice. Ooh. Right, now this foot needs to hook up around his leg. So come up. Hook here. Can you get that between his leg? Stay up, Zach. Good. Okay, right. Show me the tilt this way. Good. Lovely. And up you get. Good. Ankle grip. Now have an active De La Riva hook. Hook it up, good. Right, show me the tilt that direction.
Do I just do the same?
Yeah, you got to turn onto your left hip and go that way. Very nice, good. Okay, so just there I said about Eve having an active hook, active De La Riva hook, and that's really important because you could have really good frames in terms of like foot position on the other hip, and you could have your cross collar grip and you could be controlling the leg. But what you also really need is that De La Riva hook to be pulling in, so it hooks up and it pulls. Okay, it's got to be an active hook. It can't just be sat there passively just sort of touching his leg or her leg. It's got to be pulling. It's got to be active. Okay, so we're going to play around with that now. They're going to practice for a few minutes. Hopefully that's of use. We're going to keep doing these videos, I think. If the kids enjoy it. If they don't enjoy it, we won't. We'll see an improvement in their jiu-jitsu, hopefully my jiu-jitsu and possibly your own. If you're wanting to explore De La Riva more, more in-depth instructionals on it. Mikey Musumeci, fantastic, albeit pretty long study of De La Riva. Mendez brothers, probably the greatest ever at that sort of game. And Meow brothers, anybody that can play that sort of inverted berimbolo game, they really understand De La Riva. So this would be the sort of the gateway into that kind of style of jiu-jitsu. And I think it's a great game for the kids to understand as well. Highly complex, very, very complicated, but really, really effective and tricky for the top person to understand. That was pretty good. Very nice. Nice, good. Right, the guard looks brilliant here. That looks a really good guard, and the hook looks quite good from what I can see. Hit it. Go your right hip, yeah, just pull on the collar. Okay, if he's going to go now, backwards roll. Hit a backwards roll from here. Okay, that's fine, that's good. What I was just saying there is Eve hit the sweep and sort of lay next to Zach. Now, you try and make sure you're encouraging the kids to, when they go for their sweep, that they're trying to come up on top. Get them in the habit of scoring those 2 points. This is if competition's your focus. Probably a good time to bring this in, just to give you a bit of an idea of my thoughts, if it's of interest to you. I encourage competition from sort of 10 years and above, but up until the point of 10, I'm not that bothered about it too much. I think there's enough within jiu-jitsu, just within classes alone, without the added pressure of competing. But I would still try and encourage them to get that understanding of tactical awareness. If they're going to go for a sweep, get them in the habit of coming up and scoring the points, even just in the gym. And then that translates into the sport better when they actually take up the sport. And also from a self-defense standpoint, okay? So let's get back to it. Hope that was of use. Yeah, it was good fun to make that there. I hope it was of value, and if you are teaching your kids jiu-jitsu, that, you know, get in touch. If there's anything we can help with, just let us know. By no means do I think I know everything, but I'm just trying to figure it out like we all are. We're a gym based in Belfast, Northern Ireland, United Kingdom. If anyone's ever in the area, they want to come and visit, just drop in. Our gym is Forge Grappling. We offer Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing. I'm the Jiu-Jitsu coach, and we're passionate about martial arts for kids. We'll try and get a video up tomorrow. No idea what we're covering just yet, but we'll have something. So yeah, thank you very much. Bye.